in 2090 to the Earth's atmosphere. It's so polluted that you can't see the sun during the day. I can't find a green tree anywhere. Anyone on the road, everyone has to wear a respirator in that dark time. It's a technology company called that has brought a ray of hope to humanity. They've successfully created an artificial land right outside the Earth's atmosphere. The ecosystem here is recreated just like on Earth. It is a paradise for all life. However, only a few of the rich and powerful. You can become a citizen of UTS. Meanwhile, most of humanity is still left on Earth. They have to face the disease, poverty. We have to find a way to survive the day. Right now, Captain Who is in a morgue, in the hope of finding her daughter's body, died in a space accident. Who was so poor he didn't have any cash. You can only pay the morgue board. A little rice that I picked up. But the Kier flatly refused and asked you to leave. Suddenly they see the shoes that Tai Who is wearing. It seems worth. I asked you to leave those shoes. Tai Who didn't need to think. And then he was taken to the body store. However, Taehu, it's very sad when I realized it wasn't my daughter. Right now, a group of Earth reporters are having a press conference with the most powerful man in the world named Sullivan. He's the founder of Rods and was worshipped as a savior. He lived to 155, but he still looks as young as 30. Sullivan, too, introduced to a group of reporters a plant mutants are 10 times more likely to deliver oxygen, and said that his ambition was to turn so. Fire is the new home of humanity. Go back to Who. You're operating a ship right now. It's called Victory, orbiting the Earth to collect waste. This space is a very dangerous job, because the pieces of trash are all speeding along faster than a bullet. But for poor people like Who, this is the easiest way to make money. The waste they collect, it's going to be sold to a recycling company. In addition to Who, there are 3 other crew members on board, including a beautiful female commander named Jung, tattooed man named Tiger, and finally, the smart robot named Korn. They're a very well-coordinated team. Uncle, who controls the ship, following the pieces of trash. Korn stands outside throwing spears to capture the targets, then pull back to the ship. The trash will then be disposed of by Tiger. The whole process is directed in a very ingenious way. It's not just picking up pieces of trash, they're also taking over pieces of trash. Other groups, a Chinese ship chasing right behind to reclaim the stolen pieces of trash. However, Jung controlled the robotic arms to stop them from doing that. As soon as the ship comes near a giant solar shield, Tae, who controls the ship, threw it very skillfully and successfully, cut off the tail of those who are chasing. He leaned back into his chair to relax, without even knowing that the ship is hurtling towards the UTS atmosphere. As soon as I recognized drive to avoid, but the ship accidentally crashed the pole 10 of a nearby satellite. Shortly after the Victory successfully landed in the recycling plant, the waste they collected sold for more than $500. However, Taehu has not yet touched the money. Hurriedly put it away, and then he took out a paper fine of over $1,000 because they've damaged the satellite antenna. Extremely spicy toy, because it turns out that the money earned, it's not even enough to pay the penalty. Returned to the Victory ship. A group of people who have nothing to do invited each other to play cards. Taehu and Jung secretly colluded with each other in order to find the bad amount of corn. Tiger said that his rice, it was stolen by that AI. At that moment, he saw the page again, are casually drinking, and immediately assumed that she had traded rice for wine. But the truth is that Who is the culprit, even though we've used enough fraud. But in the end, Korn won all their bets. Taehu extremely spicy because they believed that they would win. Tiger asked for the rice back, but Jung flatly refused because you don't take. Finally, all 3 of them rushed into the dust and were all unconscious on the floor. A moment later, they disassembled the body, a spaceship, to find upgrades for the ship. Suddenly, Who heard a noise. I went to check it out and was amazed when I found a little girl hiding there, who decided to take her back to the Victory. They're all confused because they don't understand why a little girl is trapped in a ship, floating in space like that. I don't know how to handle it. The news channel suddenly announced an emergency. The US is looking for a robot named Dorothy. It's just been stolen by the Black Fox terrorist 2 days organization. Ago. They've planted a hydrogen bomb in the robot. With destructive power, extremely dangerous. Coincidence, the shape of Dorothy. She looks exactly like here. Afraid the bomb will explode, so they all ran to their rooms and locked the door. After a while, they decided to call the police, but not a UTS citizen. So they can only send emergency messages. Waiting for a response from the police, they decided to lock Dorothy outside the ship by losing the hammer scissors. So Tae-hoo is the one who has to do the job. But before I could do anything, Dorothy detected the terrified young man huddled behind a sign. Calm down, who hurriedly picked up her backpack. Then hide in the room. 6 tossed the backpack. Who found a cell phone. Inside were a series of missed calls. It comes from a guy named. Immediately an idea flashed in whose mind. On this side, Dorothy's eyes suddenly turned blue. With some mysterious power, she made the dead tree come back to life. Right now, Who and the others are having a planning meeting. If the UTS and the black terrorists Ford wants Dorothy, then she must be worth it. Tae-hoo convinced the team to do $1 million mission. Some of the money that they've been scavenging all their lives. Never been. They'll take Dorothy. Talk to the black terrorist organization Fox to ask for money. So we made a call to King for $2 million. I can't believe the opponent immediately agreed. And meet at a mall tomorrow. Think about the huge amount of money. It makes us all very happy. But they didn't expect that. Sullivan also overheard the conversation. He immediately ordered the UTS to arrest Dorothy. Bring it back. While waiting for the appointment time, Tiger was assigned to look after Dorothy. Both playing, we talked and became closer to each other. Tiger no longer sees Dorothy as a robot. I see her as a real person. It's almost time. Tae-hoo and Tiger, get your gear ready to go to the rendezvous point. However, when they were about to leave, the police suddenly arrived. They're all very confused, afraid that the plan has been revealed. But it turns out the police just came to check after receiving Tiger's urgent message. Before that, suddenly the police officer saw the shadow of a man behind the door. He immediately went to check and almost discovered Dorothy. Fortunately, she managed to escape into a corner. It's almost time to meet. It makes us all very worried. He wanted the police officer to leave quickly, who stole Korn's money to bribe him. The police officer, I don't understand anything yet. Put the money in his hand. Then take the video, then threaten that if he doesn't leave, then they'll denounce him for accepting bribes. The police officer was afraid of losing his job and left in a hurry. Moment later, Tiger were at the meeting. However, they didn't know that the UTS commandos, Sullivan's sending in an ambush. After a while searching, I finally met a man named Jen. Tae-hoo asked to pay the amount first, so King gave them a suitcase. It's actually $10 million in there. There was no shortage of Sue that made the whole team extremely excited. It was time to hand over Dorothy. Then they all caught fire when they noticed the hidden backpack. She's empty right now. They immediately split up and went looking for it. Dorothy was standing in the middle of the club, staring at the flashing lights. People around you recognized the mobile bomb standing right in front of you. They were terrified and ran away. Hear the sound. So Tae-hoo and Tiger went to check it out. At the right time, UTS soldiers simultaneously opened fire on the crowd when Tae-hoo and Tiger found Dorothy. Everything around you is on fire. Being in a dangerous situation, there is an invisible shield protecting them from the rain of bullets. When the UTS soldiers approached, they escaped. Back to the ship, the whole group realized that, in the midst of the chaos, they lost their suitcase. Tae-hoo is very upset and wants to get in touch with King again. But Jung broke the phone for fear of being overheard. This time Dorothy, his real name is Kanem. Tiger heard that. I'm glad the name sounds cute. However, Tae-hoo is not very happy because I don't want them to get too close with a mobile bomb. At the headquarters of UTS, a meeting between senior members is taking place. Sullivan explained that the roots of technology to create UTS's artificial planet. It's the nanobots. This technology is also being deployed on Mars, but there's a kind of wave called a crater, born from the bomb. When Dorothy exploded, it can disable all the nanobots. So they had to find Dorothy quickly. Taeho and his teammates are there. At the recycling plant, they're repairing and refueling the Victory. I'll try to contact King, Uncle, who is still bored about losing money. Suddenly I came to tell you about the tomato plant. It's now in full bloom. The money immediately bounced in Hu's head. They both picked tomatoes and sold them. Because fresh stuff like this is outside the space station that there's never been, so everyone's buying it, and soon enough the tomatoes are sold out. That's how they make a lot of money. During this time period, I'm getting closer and closer to everyone. Babe gets corned. Tell us about the background of each member on the ship. Turns out Tiger used to be a notorious gangster. He's in prison on Earth. We have to escape into space. Tiger is a good man. For illegal money, everything he earns goes to the poor. Whereas Korn used to be a killing machine, assigned the task of hunting important goals. But now Korn has only one dream. It's full body plowing, to look like a human. As for Hu, he's the one with the most painful past. You used to be #1 commander of the UTS task force during a mission. Hu found a newborn baby in the arms of a dead mother. By law, the baby must be sent to Earth. But because I feel guilty, so Uncle who adopted the baby, then you have some power. So it's going pretty well. My father and I live happily together. However, those beautiful days don't last long. Since witnessing the death of the baby's mother, comes Hu never take the life of anyone again. Unable to complete the assigned task, I was fired by Sa. That's just for a moment. To their fathers and children became poor, wandering the streets of the market living through the day. In a gambling session to make money, a piece of garbage has VA into the ship. That's a lot of people being blown out into space. Among them was Hu's daughter. Since then, I've never stopped looking for my daughter, even if it costs a lot of money. That's why Sao comes Hu even now despite doing everything to make money. Captain Jiang is the only one. There's no information about her. Go back to the present. Now everyone has repaired the ship and is contacting Kang to exchange him. But while they don't notice, a stranger made me shut up and take me away. After a while chasing, finally, Tiger caught up and defeated the intruders. Did not expect that. They're colleagues again, working in a recycling plant. Not only that, they're all members of the Black Fox organization. After a moment of greeting, finally, the Kier people told them the truth. Turns out the Black organization is not a terrorist as UTS claims. They're actually an environmental organization. Khanum on Earth is not a robot. It's the scientist's daughter. Is a PhD student in nanobot technology from UTS. Before that I had a strange disease. The nervous system can't be repaired. In times of despair, King placed a bet on him. And the nanobots programmed by himself to regenerate cells. I can't believe the miracle has happened. The nanobot transmitted to start the signal exchange to help her nervous system recover from the disease. Not only that, it's also given her a very special ability. It's communicating with the external nanobosses through the nanobots in the body. You can't just control the nanobots, you can still make them regenerate and regenerate. The plants are dead. Sullivan soon discovered Khanum's ability. He stole her from King, then bring it to Sao. Fire to realize your ambition. Sullivan should have. We can use Khanum to revive the Earth, but he didn't. He's watching people on Earth are the inferior ones. They just destroy nature. They don't deserve heaven. Created by him. As soon as the renovation plan is successful, I will be immediately removed. However, the destruction of Khanum is not because easy. She's always protected by nanobots. That's why Sullivan installed a hydrogen bomb right in the middle of a waste recycling plant. He'll take you. I went there to combine with the bomb to create something. has tremendous destructive power to the entire surface of the Earth and destroy more than 3 billion. Fire will become the only place that can survive, and Sullivan will again be revered as a savior. Now Taeho with teammates, he knew Sullivan's true face. Outside, UTS troops have come to surround. Taeho hurriedly took me to the ventilation pipe. Follow the noise they make. It caught the attention of the soldiers. They found out where you were hiding and immediately let go bullets towards them. Angle, who continued to take me away, trying to reach the victory. The female commander of the task force caught up to them. She grabbed me and shut up, and we both fell down. This fan thought he was dead. Tiger. Suddenly the rope came and saved me in time. The victory ship. Then accelerate to get out of there. Unfortunately, it was hit by a missile. The ship lost control and crashed into the space debris field. This is a space field with billions of nanobuses. Easy corrosion metal. As the ship was slowly damaged, people have almost lost hope, ready to accept death. Suddenly my eyes shut and suddenly changed color. Immediately the entire nanobus course corrosion separated from the ship, so that they were able to cross the field space crumbs in a safe way. The victory ship then head straight to the rendezvous point to return you. Shut up about Chokham. Finally, their father and son were reunited together now. Jung accidentally discovered the pulse bombs. Electromagnetic has just been installed nearby. Without even warning the others, there was an explosion. Happens to shake things up. The entire electrical system is immediately disabled. Even the corn robot is paralyzed. Immediately after that, UTS soldiers suddenly rushed and all the people here, except for the crew on board. Victory with me is survival. The rest, King and all the Black Fox members, were shot down. The scene right now is catastrophic. Then Sullivan appeared with a cold face. By him to group of Taeho, live not for kindness. He wanted the traitors to see for themselves. The Earth is destroyed. It turned out before. Jung is a genius weapon maker of UTS. But after learning who Sullivan really is, then she turned her back on the organization and failed to assassinate him, while everyone was unconscious. There is only Taeho left. Sullivan not hesitate. That Ra always planned to destroy the Earth. Taeho needs money to find her daughter. Sullivan, I threw for $1 million in front of him. Even someone who used to be a high-ranking commander like Taeho, now they're blinded by money. Sullivan was very interested to see the true nature of human beings lower on Earth. He finally left with the soldiers, leaving Penghu there with the money. A moment later the others woke up, but now they're no longer on the same page. While Jung with Tiger, he decided to risk his life to the rescue. Objected. Taeho advises everyone to get their share of the money because they couldn't afford to fight Sullivan. On this side, Sullivan came out. He appeared on television as a savior, then make a statement in front of all UTS residents that the Sapphire renovation has been completed. He also detonated a hydrogen bomb in the waste recycling plant. He also ordered the soldiers to be on guard. Their go back to Penghu. I'm waiting for the search results right now. Missing daughter. In the meantime, Num, who touched 6 memorabilia of the little girl, I read the book again, her daughter's notes in a flood of memories. I can't hold back my tears. When I read the last lines, she wrote that herself. I want to be a good man like my father. The words that made Chopai who wake up. You can't leave Conan like that. So I went back to Victory and joined the plan to rescue her. Everyone quickly in position, ready to fight. Gypsies armed themselves with a gun. You made it yourself while working at decks. The victory is coming. A fleet of combat ships immediately pursue the attack. Taeho, trying to steer the ship away from the rain of bullets. Jiang is standing in the back and are constantly responding to the enemy. Right now, the Corn's killing mode is once again activated. It's hurtling towards the combat ships and then repeatedly destroy them after a long fight. Last ship victory. They also went to the recycling plant. Everybody inside to save Kanem, but they couldn't destroy the hydrogen bomb. Once it explodes, it destroys everything within a radius of 5,000 kilometers. Wave crater will disable all nanobots and humans. The only way is to get her out of range. Effect of crater wave. The female commander of the task force suddenly appeared. She could easily take down you. Along with the page and the corn, Tiger decided to risk his life. I was with the female commander in the room. After a while of fighting, Tiger finally defeated her. The team quickly returned, start the ship, and try to get as far away as possible. However, soon after, hundreds of combat ships suddenly chase and attack them. This is when they need more allies. Captain Jiang told the whole truth. With colleagues in the factory, we all see the Earth as their house should have come to the aid for the group to leave. This is the conversation between Sullivan and Taehu about the plan of destruction. His Earth is being land transmission across pages. It turns out that Taehu recorded the conversation so that everyone to know the true face of Sullivan. Shortly after the victory was close out of range via 5,000 kilometers, Sullivan suddenly appeared. He controls a ship. Giant robot rushed to attack Victory ship. Corn robot while fighting protection. The ship was unfortunately destroyed. Time countdown on the bomb. Less than a minute left. Everything seems like it can no longer be saved. At that time, the Victory. It's over a 5,000 kilometer radius. Right now, Taehu with new teammates dedicated to Cho Sullivan. A surprise gift. That's the hydrogen bomb. It was carried inside the Victory. Turned out from the beginning, we all planned for Kanem to stay in the factory. They'll take the bomb to suicide with Victory. Now, the horrific explosion from the hydrogen bomb that engulfed Sullivan, along with the Taehu group in the sea of fire. Every citizen on the artificial planet and the people on the left, the Earth breathed a sigh of relief because the Earth has avoided disaster. Meanwhile, the people in the factory are grieving the death of the crew of Victory. Suddenly my eyes shut again and changed color. In front of everyone's surprise, the Victory is gradually revealed. It turns out you am controlling the nanobots' magnetic field of space debris, a shield that protects the ship from the explosion. That's why all the crew on board still survived the UTS leadership. Then he apologized to all the people on Earth. At the same time, that they'll do their best to rebuild the green planet. Sometime later, the corn robot's dream has come true. When you're wearing yourself the appearance of a beautiful young girl, thanks to Kanem's nanobot capabilities, Taehu saw her daughter for the last time to say goodbye. Kanem now with a crew on the Victory, living together as a family. Sometimes she'll be brought back to Earth to reinvent our planet. This movie is the end. If it looks good, don't leave yourself a like and subscribe to the channel. See you all in the next movies.